Hello and welcome to another edition of Droppin Baums with me, your host, Corey Baumeister. As always, with the lovely folks over here at StarCityGames.com. So this week we are bringing you a deck that has kind of went away from the standard metagame and then came back with a pure vengeance thanks to Brian Gottlieb. He played this in the Fandom event and rode it all the way to a top 4 finish. And the deck is just impressive. I think it's very well positioned. I think it has a great matchup against maybe 3 of the top 5 decks in the form of Vampires, Bant Scapeshift, and Esper Hero. I think those are all very good matchups. And I think that's the 3 decks that are at top of the metagame right now. So I really think Brian just really thought outside the box here and built a very good deck. He also raised a ton of money for a great charity. So all kudos goes to Brian. Brian's a great guy and a great Magic player, and who would have guessed, a great deck builder as well. So all right, everybody, no further ado, enjoy the games. All right, and welcome to round 1 here with Jeskai Superfriends. We are on the play. Keeping an okay hand, nothing great, but we can control the board with a Wrath down the line as well as get Saheeli. So if we really pair this with any other Planeswalker, it should be all right. Now, of course, Vampires can just come out of the gates too fast where Saheeli just isn't good, so we might not be able to play it. Like an Adanto here, and I think we just can't play it. A Knight? A Knight can actually pressure this as well. Wow, okay. Well, they may not have a black, but even if we get Saheeli down right now with drawing a bunch of lands here, it's just not good. So I think we're just going to say go here and wait for this Wrath and just hope it's good enough. A Deafening Clarion there would have been the Blade. That's a lot of damage. Now just no Adanto. Okay, Teferi Time Raveler is actually pretty strong. Just to soak up some damage. I think it's what we have to do. We're going to get Beacon down here, gain a life. We probably could have played the other Beacon to make sure we get out of range. We're actually going to bounce the Knight. We just want to bounce the most amount of damage. Then we'll say go. Now we're okay with Teferi dying, not a big deal. We just want to cast Cleansing Nova next turn and make sure to control the board and then hopefully draw another Planeswalker here to pair with Saheeli so that we can kind of start defending our other Planeswalkers while we gain a board presence here. Yep. Yeah, that's smart that they did that, because if they aim the Lieutenant there and we have Shock, then we get everything essentially. I want them to just dump creatures on, but they rightfully just are going to Adanto here. Great play on our opponent's part. Alright, we have no choice, otherwise we'd be dead, so. We'll kill all the creatures. They'll make a 1/1. And now they get to redeploy a bunch of threats, and we drew a Planeswalker, which is exactly what we wanted, but we did not draw the right one. So right now, 2 Saheelis don't really do much. Dauntless Bodyguard, huh? Haven't seen that one in a while. Wow. Maybe we have to just go double Saheeli here, just to get a token, gain 4 life. I mean, getting a token is actually kind of important right now, so I think we're going to. It doesn't look great, but gain some more life. We just played a 3-mana 1/1 artifact creature, gain 2. Not strong. But we do want to just get rid of Knight. Yeah, we're okay if this gets slowed down here. We will take that. Wow. Okay, well, our opponent is not doing anything here, so we're actually probably coming back into this. They just make Adanto tokens. We don't really care about that. Oh, this deck is fun. Planeswalkers are fun. Plain and simple. I still think we want to bounce this. We could kill a token. Ooh. Now I kind of wish we would have, because we would rather Baffling End the other creature. But we're going to save Baffling End here because we would like to hit that Knight or something more relevant. Right now they can attack everything at Teferi, which we're okay losing. Teferi's good and all, but not insane against vampires. The only thing it's really good for is just having a relevant body when Sarkin comes down. But this is our public enemy. This is what Baffling End is in the deck for. We are going to kill this. Whoa, our opponent's going deep. Okay, well, didn't draw anything. Now, I still think I just have to get rid of Adanto here. That way, if I draw any of my Wrath effects, they're just going to be backbreaking. All right. We'll put a Foundry into play tapped, and then we will ship it back. Yeah, we're not using Saheeli's ability. Really doesn't have very much relevant text. Yeah, I like where our opponent's going, just as fast as possible type of vampires. Just going at face and Teferi. All right, something like a Chandra would break this game wide open, but a Narset will do it too. This is gonna be nice. This is gonna be nice set. All right, I'll see myself out after that dad joke. Sorry, everyone. But Narset is exactly what the doctor ordered here. All right. Oh, oof, duh. Okay, now Clarion kills everything. So does Cleansing Nova. Yeah, I think we just get a Deafening Clarion here. Always choose both out there. You always choose both. All right, kill everything. And we'll play a land tap. We'll say go. Now, the main reason I wanted to kill everything here is because they could have just attacked Narset and made it so I couldn't use that anymore. Now, Narset's going to get an activation and then it'll die, but an activation to find another Planeswalker here is chef's kiss. Is good. Is good. Okay, well, we're cooking. All right, let's have Narset find another gasser here. Narset into Narset. I'm a fan. Now we'll go another Narset. Now our life total is just going to get out of hand. We're going to run away with this game pretty easily. This deck is nice. When they're just generating 1/1s, we're beyond that point. Not a great card. All right, then we'll go with a Karn. Now, do we want to make just giant Karnstructs at this point? I think so. I think we just want to shut down the board here. Let's make a Karnstruct. They're going to get large. All right, now we gave away that we only have one card, but I think that's okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was nice. All right, and I think vampires, this is the deck we're supposed to beat here. We play so many Wrath effects. We play so many ways to deal with their initial onslaught, and then we can just, you know, pull ahead from there. So Settle's pretty strong, very strong, actually. Baffling End is great. Fry, a little slow. Blood Sun, bad. Dovin's Veto, bad. Alpine Moon, Fall of Throne, bad. Maybe Binding. Okay, so these are the maybe cards. Now, what don't we want here? We want all our Wrath effects, so I'm completely happy with those. Narset is usually bad, so I tend to want to take those out in other style decks. Now, maybe they're better here. Saheeli also doesn't feel very good to me. Like, I mean, it was pretty good here. Saheeli, Teferi, and Narset, and Karn are kind of like my questioning ones. Everything else is very good. So I think this comes down to the point where I don't want to be taking out all of anything. Like, I don't want to be taking out just 4 Narsets or 4 Teferis. I want to diversify because Planeswalker diversification is very important in these decks. Drawing 2 Teferis or drawing a Teferi and a Narset, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Drawing one of each is way better. So you want to just be, like, trimming. So my first thought is to go like this. Just trim one off the top of all of them. And then I also just think Karn is not that good. But I think, once again, having one is fine. And then Ixalan's Binding, I think, is a little slow on the draw, so we're going to take out one of those, and we're going to give this a shot. We'll move on to game 2. We're going to be on the draw against a more aggressively slanted vampires list, which I think favors us. More Wrath of Gods in our deck, and yeah, okay, so Sarkhan maybe it could have been a card we trim a little bit as well. Maybe a 1-of there would have been all right. But this hand is fine. Teferi to slow things down. And then Cleansing Nova followed up by Sarkhan making a 4/4, something like that would be pretty nice. Okay. Oh, that was a great draw. That was exactly what the doctor ordered here. Baffling End to really slow down our opponent's aggression here. Interplanar Beacon is actually quite strong in this as well. No. Don't do it. Oh, yeah. That's good. Teferiing that. We're fine with that. Teferiing your only creature is so good because now they're kind of put in a spot where they have to throw a creature at Teferi if they want to kill it. So this is excellent. This is the dream. The dream. And another removal. Okay. So that's our Baffling End target. And that's our shock target. Put that on a Danto. Dang it. Good play on our opponent's part. Okay, well. Now we can just do that if we want to deal with this right now. Or we can Baffling End this and then hope to deal with the other thing somehow. Yeah, that was very smart putting the counter on that instead of that. All right, I think we're gonna go like this and give them the opportunity to make a mistake with this Sorin. And the reason I'm waiting is because with Teferi, my sorcery is now cast at instant speed, so I can do this whenever. And that's the play I wanted to end up on anyways, because I just want to get rid of this. So if they try to put a counter on Legion Lieutenant, boom, got an extra activation out of them that normally if I just cast it on my turn would not have happened. Giving your opponents chance to make mistakes works more often than not. People make mistakes, you know, plain and simple. Yep, our opponent did not do so this time, but now they might make a mistake in combat. If they want to kill Teferi, only attacking here, or... Okay, see, they just played great. But I gave them the opportunity to play badly. They just did not take it. So we're going to do that. They're going to lose 4 and gain 5. Teferi's dead. Now we have the Baffling End for that. And the shock for that. Okay, nice. So we're just going to go like this. We're going to get this out of there. Then we're going to say go, once again giving our opponent a chance to make a mistake with this Sorin. All right, we'll kill that in response. Boom. Our opponent was just like, you answered everything. I hate this. I hate it. I quit. All right, everyone, that wraps up round 1 here with Jeskai Superfriends, given to us by Brian Gottlieb, who, like I said earlier, really had a great cause that he was donating money for with suicide prevention. That he played in the fandom last week. Really great cause, really great person, and really great deck so far. So stay tuned for round 2 here with Jeskai Superfriends. All right, round 2 with Jeskai Super Buddies here. We're on the draw, but this hand is nice. I mean, we have either, if there's only one creature on the board, we have Teferi Time Reveler to bounce it and have a nice tempo swing. If the board is empty, we have Narset to start pulling ahead with cards. And if the board gets flooded, we have Deafening Clarion on 3. So this is a great hand. I don't think out of this deck you're hoping for much more. All the mana to do everything in the world thanks to Interplanar Beacon, excuse me. Is that a Snubs? I haven't seen Snubs forever. That's not a vampire. What the? It's either Sacred Foundry or this. I think we want to go with Hallowed Fountain. It doesn't matter too much based on our hand, but I'm trying to think of cards we could draw where it could matter. And the only thing I think is Shock. So drawing Shock. Okay. All right, so nothing there. We're going to say go. Snubs early with Teferi Bounce. I really get to manipulate them quite well. Like, this is great. Now we get to go Teferi bounce. And then Teferi can't get pressured. All right. So, Teferi, bounce this token. And now next turn, if they commit more to the board, then I can Deafening Clarion at instant speed. This deck is nice, y'all. Brian Gottlieb's a genius. Our hand is absolutely stacked. If we ever run out of gas, we just have Narsets to just refuel the world. Okay. Oh, that's nice with that. Yep. So now we have to Deafening Clarion just because we can't do it at instant speed anymore. And this is going to go off for a ton of damage. So we'll do this. Boom, boom. Mono white. The bane of your existence. Deafening Clarion. Your turn. Now we have Sarkhan to generate a creature. Or Wrath again if we really needed to, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, we're just going to generate a creature off Sarkhan now. Force him to answer that. All right, here comes Sarkhan and his little dragon buddy. All right. All right, so now we have a blocker for this. If it gets Conclave Tribunal, we do lose Sarkhan or Deputy, but we're okay with this. We're going to lose it, but now we have another choice. We can just Wrath again, which is probably correct, especially if they put one more creature on the board. A land. So I'm kind of thinking they have Dovin's Veto. It's got to be Dovin's Veto, right? If that's the case, we want to go like this and bait out the veto. Oh yeah, they're going to counter this. Maybe not. We'll see if this resolves. Oh, they were just bluffing. I've done that play before too. It's like, your life total doesn't matter. You might as well make them think you have it. I actually respect that play. Maybe we played differently. Our opponent did exactly what we've been preaching about. Oh, never mind. They just had that. I was saying giving us the opportunity to make a mistake. But this is kind of similar. Okay. Great card against us. Adanto is probably the best Magic card against us. So here we get to make some tokens. I think we're going to go Saheeli plus Karn. And we're just going to make tokens from both. Start making Karn Structs. All right, now we get to make a 2/2, which is relevant because we can block one of these tokens and it doesn't die. But granted, if we block with this, this will also die. But we will block with this because if Adanto Vanguard goes at Karn, we don't want that dying. Yeah, exactly. So we will have to block that. But we will block with this, given the option. See, I think that's a mistake to not attack with the tokens there too, because I'm forced to block. So I don't think that... Okay, nope, that makes more sense. They just want to make the tokens bigger. So now I think it might be time to Cleansing Nova, but maybe not quite. So we can make another Karn Struct. I think we start with this. See what we can find. Get another artifact. Because our Wrath does not kill Adanto Vanguard right now, so it's not the best. All right, Narset coming down. Let's see what we can find. Another Narset or a Sarkhan. I kind of want a Sarkhan. A Sarkhan really presents a lot of damage. Here comes the rope to pressure us. So let's talk about our options. Narset we're not going to play this turn, but we would activate next turn and then replace it. Good play. Sarkhan we can't cast either, but playing it next turn, making a 4/4, I think is very good. So honestly, I think Sarkhan's just the better play. Now the question is to make a Karn Struct, which we definitely want to do. Oh, and we actually have a very nice play here. We're going to Legend Rule Saheeli just so that we can have 2/4 Karn Structs. We're going to do another one of these, gain another life. Now we have 2 4/4 Karn Structs. And now a 4/4 class, why is it more relevant than a 3/3? Boom, they have 4/4s. And it blocks Adanto. So now like Deputy of Detention or something is actually really bad. That's pretty good, but it's not backbreaking. Wow, oh yeah. All right, now it's time. So we want to start with this. Reveal. Giving us a land. We will oblige by playing it. Tap Narset here. Okay. Chandra is probably game, but maybe Sarkin is just game. Like, Sarkin, we attack for 12, and then Shock is game. Okay. Alright. Shock is lethal. So we tick up here, turn our planeswalkers into flying dragons. Attack with everything, because why not? And boom. Oh yeah, that was nice. We were in control of that game from the beginning. Not a chance we were losing that game. That was nice. Okay, so this is going to be very similar to how we sideboarded against vampires. Mono white aggro is essentially the same thing. Overpowered, underpriced creatures that try to kill you fast. But Fry is actually good here because it kills like Loxodon for 2 mana. Settle is still very good. Baffling End is an Adanto Vanguard killer. Anytime you see Adanto Vanguard, bring in Baffling End. Plain and simple. All right, so Karn was insane there, but I'm kind of thinking we're supposed to take him out. I'm going to take out 1 Sarkin. I think I'm going to take out this Teferi. Teferi seems a little slow. Now we're on the draw. So now we could just do a little bit more trimming like last time, but I think I'm actually going to take out 2 Narsets, 1 Karn. I don't know. We're going to take out 1 Saheeli as well. Narset's just been insane, so it's hard for me to take that out. So we're going to go like this. Okay, so we're on the draw here against Mono White Aggro, a deck we haven't seen in a long time. Snubby Snubs has not crossed my desk in a while. On the draw, we got removal. We don't have as many lands as we'd like, but we can start with Shock and Fry to stop their early assault, and then maybe blow them out with Settle. I think we're in with this. Now this could go wrong. This hand is really reactive, so if they do, maybe not as reactive of stuff. So now the question is, do we leave Shock open or not? And I think the answer is no. Shock, we're just dealing ourselves 2 damage, and if they play like a Danto, we feel really silly. Plus, we telegraph what we have. Okay, and we're just going to put this into play tap. That's actually quite strong. Yeah, I kind of made a goof there. I wanted to Shock before our opponent had the option to do that, but it's really not that big of a deal because we're just going to Shock here, and then we're just going to Fry the Loxodon. All right, now we do have another Wrath effect, but I think we're just going to control this. This can't be countered as well, but if our opponent just has another Loxodon, I would like that to not happen this time. So we're going to go like this. Say go. We're just trying to control the board so that when we get to 5 mana, our Sarkin is as good as possible. That's pretty strong. All right, now we get to just Settle. Yep. Or maybe we just take this hit. Nah. Settle you. All right, a couple of lands is much better than 8 damage in the face. Now we'll play a Sarkin. Now we can either tick up or tick down. I'm hoping they don't have a bunch of removal, but that last card could easily be Conclave Tribunal, and then we feel kind of silly. So maybe we're just supposed to tick up here. I'm playing it extra safe. I don't want Sarkin to die. I guess Conclave just kills Sarkin, but it's not as bad if Conclave is dealing with the Sarkin, because then if I ever draw Teferi, I get value out of it. Gas. Okay. Now we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna get to bounce Marshall, and then attack. That's a gasser. All right, now we can make a 4/4, but it's pretty bad right now, so we'll just attack for 4. We're getting just very close to lethal already, too. Sarkin the Masterless is quite a clock. This game should be over quite soon. Head might even explode right now. Big brain stuff. All right, this is an easy 2-0 so far. This deck feels like the real deal. Jeskai Jeskai Superfriends by Brian Gottlieb is really well positioned right now. Kind of the reason I chose it, and who knows, this might be a good choice for the Arena MCQ or SCG Richmond. Stay tuned for our 3rd and final round, and let's get that 3-0. All right, welcome to our third and final round here with Jeskai Superfriends. Yikes. This hand is a big whopping yikes. We cannot keep a triple red, or 3 of the same red card, and no red mana hand, so we will mulligan. This hand's keepable. It's not great, but definitely a keepable hand. Looks like our opponent at least mulliganed as well. We'll get rid of one of these haloed of phantoms, and we'll be on our way. Now, we cannot cast turn 1 shock because it's a cliff top retreat. Oh, our opponent's down to 5. All right, we might have a chance, even though this hand is quite bad. All right, bottom to fountain. Got a fountain. Unmulliganed. Ooh, it's pretty good. Now, if they go Jade Light Ranger, I'd like to shock that, so we're actually going to keep this untapped. But Wild Growth Walker is pretty scary for us, actually. All right, well, I guess I'm glad we did that. We'll shock this. But now Wild Growth Walker is going to a 3-power creature, so Saheeli is actually quite bad. And they got 2 lands. They're unmulliganed right there, just with that card. Now the question is, do we want to just run Saheeli out there and hope to draw something else? I think not, unfortunately. This one might not go so well. Okay, that's okay. All right, a Karn is good. A Karn we will run out. So I think we're just going to Karn and tick up. 6 is very easily out of reach. I guess if they do play Nissa, Nissa would get us quite good here. Not much we can do about Nissa. All right, so 2 lands. That's bad. No Nissa, no Nissa, no Nissa. This deck's really soft to Nissa. Tammy. Is this the Nexus one? Risen Reef. Oh, it's the quasi-duplicate deck. This deck is cool. This deck is really cool. All right, so we're just going to go tick up. Is that a Karn? Okay. Second Karn. I think I'd rather get a Hollowed Fountain into play instead of gaining 1 life here. Then we'll say go. We're going to have to just shock the face. More than likely. I guess we don't for sure have to, but we can do a bit of a cute play to deal with Tamiyo next turn. We'll see if it happens. I don't even know if it's worth discussing right now if they don't. Because they'd have to tap this creature. So if they just attack here, I think we want to block. Well, we can just negative this and go get another Karn. Okay, we're going to do a cool play here. We're going to see if it works. So we're going to let this happen. Cavern is probably going to put a damper on the plan that I was going to try to do. What I was going to try to do is end step, shock the Tamiyo, get an artifact token, then make a Karnstruct, and then get a couple more artifacts, and then copy our original token to make it a Karnstruct to attack. But I think that's not really going to work, but we're still going to do this to get a token here. That's pretty good. Actually, now this may be possible. So, I think we just want to tick up now since we got this. Ooh. Baffling End as well. 2 good cards. All right, so now we got a Chandra in there. That's something we're definitely going to want. Now, I think we want to Baffling End this. We're going to Baffling End the Walker. Then we are going to Teferi Time Reveler. Gain a life. And we're going to send this Cavalier back. And now we're really just looking for Sarkhan here. Sarkhan the Masterless is going to be insane. And that's about all we got going on here. We'll have to ship it back. Now this deck can do some insane things. I've played against this a few times. It's a Risen Reef Elemental Quasi-Duplicate deck that just goes nuts with Quasi-Duplicate. And then, yeah, and Risen Reef. So we're going to see it this turn. And then they also just play Nexus to just really go off. So maybe we can deal with Tamiyo here. Is X damage for a creature playing? Okay, so we can just deal 2 to Tammy. That seems pretty good. Or maybe we're just supposed to kill these Risen Reefs. probably correct. Otherwise, this is going to get out of hand. We're sure going to do this. Now, if I attack with 3 tokens, and they choose to block with Risen Reefs, then I don't have to actually Chandra. But yeah, since they're letting that die, now we're just going to Chandra and kill everything. Oh, this only kills non-elementals, huh? Okay. Yeah, this plan is not great then. I think we still need to play it. And just start making emblems. Or just start picking off Risen Reefs here. Start picking off elementals. But our opponent is truly just going to be able to go off. This is not going to be fast enough. All right, we'll kill one of these. Then we'll play this. What we're really looking to do is just get Sarkhan to fly over here. We've assembled a lot of Planeswalkers to do here. Unfortunately, Teferi and Saheeli don't really do much for the next few turns. And Karn we might actually get rid of to go get the other fully charged Karn and start making some Karn Structs. And then Saheeli actually does something. He can turn these wimpy servos into giant Karn Structs. Yeah, Deafening Clarion would be great as well. Yeah, this will be a tough game, but not unwinnable. Quasi-Duplicant. Who would have guessed that? Okay. 3 triggers. Draw 3 cards. Chandra actually seems pretty bad in this matchup when their whole deck's elementals. Plain and simple. They're just an elemental deck. Okay. So now they do have access to 4 mana. So they can quasi-duplicate Cavalier here. And then they get 4 triggers. Just Jade Light, huh? Okay, but they bin the Llanowar. Now they're just looking for next size. Next size of Fate, I imagine. They might get rid of Karn here. They have the option. Nope. Okay, well, I think we go get our other Karn, since we really don't have anything else to do.
What was lost is now returned.
Construct. I think we just make a Construct here. It just doesn't feel very good either. Maybe I'm just only supposed to be looking for Sarkhan. We're going to try this line, but I do not know if this is going to work.
This might be a bad idea.
Comes a Construct. Might as well make it a little bigger. Now we can do it again. This creature becomes a Construct. And we're probably just going to either kill one of these creatures or put an emblem on them. So we're going to attack. Attack for 14. All right. Well, I think we just want to kill a Risen Reef. We're just dead, though, I think. All right, now we just let them Nexus us, probably infinitely. There's Tammy. And now they just tick up for Nexus. Yeah, it is still a Nexus of Fate deck, which makes it even cooler. I'm gonna let this deck go off. Normally I'd concede here, but for anybody who's never seen this deck, I want you to see it. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet, I have to say. Like now they just tick up for Nexus. Probably hit like 3 because they only have like 15 cards in their deck. All right, I'll spare you. But yeah, you can see how their engine will never fall fail now. So we have to do a better job at controlling their early board of Risen Reefs and Tamiyo. This last game, we just didn't do it. You know, we can't pressure Planeswalkers that well, ironically, as a Planeswalker deck. So this matchup is actually probably going to be tough. It's not small white creatures that we can just destroy turn after turn. We have to find different ways to win. Ixalan's Binding is going to be a great card. Baffling End is going to be bad. Dovin's Veto is going to be pretty cool. Fry kills Tamiyo. No, it doesn't even. Ooh, Fall of Thrun might be interesting. They don't attack, so we might bring in Fall of Thrun. Spell Pierce is fine. Shock is okay. It kills Risen Reefs. But that's probably just not good enough. So maybe Shock just comes out because it's low impact. Risen Reef's important though, so maybe this is wrong. But I'm thinking just keeping all of our other Planeswalkers, because Planeswalkers are good against them. Keep the Fall of Thrun. Maybe we can just get Planeswalkers and just really just get them. And then Deafening Clarion and Cleansing Nova away their creatures. And have some counter spells. All right, game 2, we're down a game against green-blue quasi-duplicate Nexus of Fate Elementals. There's got to be a shorter name for that. But I played against this a couple of times on the ladder while I was streaming, and it was quite impressive. All right, we're going to keep. We got Teferi on the play. I like that. Now, if they have turn 2 0-3 Elemental, Teferi lines up quite well against that. The rest of our hand is a little awkward with 2 Sarkans and no way to cast them yet, but plenty of ways to do so, and we have quite a few turns. So here's the sequence I was saying that's going to happen, and there is actually one of the red swords, so that was a perfect draw. And now we get to draw again, so we should be quite ahead on tempo with this play. Teferi on the play, when you can hit something when it's not Paradise Druid or whatever, is just stellar. All right, so that's going to be a good follow-up. Jade Light we're probably okay with, although Jade Light can pressure our Planeswalkers. Keeping Negate. So with keeping Negate against a Teferi is pretty interesting. I actually think I'm going to Binding here. Because then Teferi can't be killed originally, and then if I draw red, I have this. So we're going to Binding. And there's always a chance to bounce Binding and kill something else later, but if they have any more Jade Lights in their hand is kind of crippled. Yep, Tammy's pretty good here. Now we'd love a land. A land for Sarkhan would just be insane. Oh, yeah. That was nice. Now the question is, do we make the... I think we do. I think we're going to make the dragon this time. Hitting Tammy for 4 is cool and all. Yeah, but there's nothing they can return that's like really impactful, so we're just going to build our board. And now next turn we can Chandra. And attack for 12. Turn to the land. Needed a land, that's fair. Could be a cavern. The reef. The reef. The reef. The reef is on fire. Okay. All right, so we're for sure going to... I think we're going to cast Chandra, and we're going to tick this and tick both of these up. All right, we're going to attack one at Temmie. One at face. And now we're just going to Chandra and deal 1 damage to that Risen Reef. We're just keeping them as low as possible on resources is the name of the game right now. And it's exiled, so that's important. We're just not letting them get any traction here. And then eventually, the recurring abilities of our Planeswalkers will take over. If we answer threats directly, then our Planeswalkers take over it just inherently. All right, so this means we can't... oh yeah, if we had a dragon, that would kill it. But yeah, no, okay. Okay. Couple druids. All right, now we got a counter spell of our own here. So we can just attack for 12 and then put an emblem on them, and I don't see how they can possibly win. And just hold up a counter spell.
Let's get
I've got it.
And we'll go like this. That's game. Game 3, our final round to be 3-0. I don't think we 3-0'd last week, so it's time to get back to our 3-0ing ways. I like how the sideboarding is. I'm guessing they take out Wild Growth Walker. I didn't see any for like negates and stuff, so I really actually like taking out shocks, and I like how we're configured here. All right, let's do it. Well, maybe shock on the draw is just a little better now. And I bet Karn is just bad. Or Saheeli is just bad. Or Chandra is just bad. Let's think this out. Chandra does not feel good when they have elementals everywhere, and it's just so expensive. So let's bring in a couple shocks in favor of that. Sure. 6 mana Planeswalker, it's just not needed. It's not good enough for its ability. You know, I mean, all we've done is just ping a Risen Reef, put 1 counter on you when we were already win mooring, you know? I mean, there it was best because it was a 4/4 body with Sarkhan, but any Planeswalker would have done that. Okay, we can keep this. We have the Dovin's Veto for a turn 3 Tamiyo if they have it. Tamiyo is what you have to keep off the board. And that was a good draw. Okay, also a great draw. We'll say go. Okay. I think we're going to Teferi that. Okay. Yeah, I think we just want to Teferi. Just keep them off resources and shut down all their counter spells. Now, more than likely, they can just replay this and then pressure Teferi. But now we got a red source for Sarkhan in a couple of turns, and we're doing all right. The Reef doesn't pressure Teferi, though, because Teferi ticks up to 2. I actually think that's a mistake. I actually think that is not a good play. Leaving us with Teferi here is quite good for us. And now I kind of anticipate them playing Cavalier. So I think we're going to go like this and just go land. Because now Sarkhan next turn will put a chump blocker up as well as a 4/4. We do have the other red source now. Now Risen Reef, though, can kind of, you know, have free reign to pester our Planeswalkers, but pestering them is not killing them. And that's fine. That's not a Cavalier. I was afraid of a Cavalier, but this is great now. Quasi-duplicate to the yard. Colossal Dismissal to the yard. No land. Okay. So we're going to tick up here. We're going to play Sarkhan the Masterless. Then we're going to make a 4/4. And then we're just going to sit behind counter spells. We've done our work. Now the board should be maintainable. Now it's just time to protect everything here. So this is a big turn for our opponent. If they can't cast something that really matters, they're in trouble. A Cavalier really matters, though. So Cavalier would draw them 2 cards, essentially, or put a land into play, plus draw them a card off Risen Reef. That's a big deal. Now, granted, we are attacking for a bunch, but Planeswalkers can die to Cavalier, so we actually probably can attack. But we can attack for, what, 20 next turn? Alright, we're going to protect that. Protecting all our Planeswalkers. Saheeli. Alright, we're going to go up. Now, so they become 4/4 dragons, so they can die. Plain and simple, these Planeswalkers can die. So we're going to tick these up. Wait a minute. Can this become a copy of a Planeswalker? I think they just die because it goes to loyalty of 0. Yeah, I'm not positive on that ruling though, so. Alright, so we're gonna go like this. Just make another token. We're not gonna attack this turn, so we're just gonna say go. We use both of these. Alright. Now we got some counter spells at least to do a little protecting, but this isn't great. Next turn we can go make a dragon with Sarkhan and then make another one? Yeah. If they attack though, we're not as afraid. Because if they're trying to just like quasi-duplicate this, that's pretty good. I would love to counter anything here. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're going to tick up. We're going to make a dragon. We're going to cast another one of these. Now we only have Dovin's Veto up now. That's okay though. We're gonna make another dragon. Oh wait, are they legendary? Token creature. Nope. Alright, we're just going for the one-hit swing here. And that's all we can do for now. Now next turn next turn's gonna be a huge turn. Next turn we get to do some things. But they can do some things this turn. For sure. Ugh. Jesus. God, if only we had Deputy of Detention in here. This would be insane. Yeah, Spell Pierce target. Let's go. Should have did that in the opposite order. Okay, so how many dragons do we have now? I think there's a lot. So we make a copy. That's a dragon. We bounce, and then we have... So we have 6 dragons coming in. And what, we need 7? Yeah, we have 6 dragons coming in here. Okay, we're going. We're going to do it. We're going to do the thing. Plus, we can just attack with the tokens. All right, so bounce 1. Okay. Token becomes a dragon. All right. Make dragons. Attack with the team. That's a scary attack. We're gonna lose some planeswalkers. They have to probably block with that Risen Reef 12, 15. No, they don't have to, but they are going to. Okay, so left around Sarkhan. We don't have Shock. So I don't think we want to play Sarkhan right now. But we could go Karn and make a Karn Struck. Yeah, I think that's a good play to kind of protect Sarkhan a little bit. And just make another creature, another lethal attacker. With the Dovin's Veto to back it up, we'll try our best. But if they have like, I don't know, Nexus with Autumn Avail backup, that's terrifying. Okay. So this Karn Struck can actually kill something. That's pretty big. So we're going to kill the one that's blocking Sarkhan. Let Karn go. Okay. They get to pick a card to put back. Dismissal. They snap that off. I guess I just have to hope they don't have Autumn's Veil. Because Negate doesn't do it. But yes, Autumn's Veil would have stopped this, but Negate doesn't have anything on Dovin's Veto. That was an insane match. Oh my god, that was sweet. Okay, well this deck is the Blade. This deck is the pure Blade. Maybe I should just be playing this at SCG Richmond this weekend. We're going to consider it, that's for sure. All right, everybody, stay tuned for our recap where I talk about the matches and I talk about each individual card choice and why Brian Gottlieb chose the cards he did, which ones I like and which ones I didn't like. Stay tuned. And welcome to our post-match recap here. Well, this deck is the real deal. This deck was super fun to play and just insanely powerful right now. I think there's a reason why this deck was played by Brian Gottlieb. It is very good against vampires because it just kills all the creatures so often. Chandra Awakened Inferno is insanely good at killing vampires. Deafening Clarion is awesome. Cleansing Nova is great. You have Baffling Ends for a Danto Vanguard, which is always red, white, and blue's biggest problem card, I would say, as far as creatures. And against like Bant Scapeshift, you still have games because you're still killing all these creatures as well as having Teferi, so they can't do that very good play of Teferi, tick up, Scapeshift, 1,000 zombies kill you. Like if you have your own Teferi, they can't do that. And then, you know, the same things that work on vampires, all the kill creatures, work on the Scapeshift deck as well. So, first of all, we'll talk about our matches. We played vampires round 1. Just a case of we destroyed everything. They were never in it. They were never in the games. They played a lot of creatures, but just every single time we either got a 2 or a 3 for 1 off our Clarions or Cleansing Novas. And then we were just able to pick off all the other creatures with either Planeswalker's abilities, like Teferi Time Reveler, making Saheeli blockers to deal with all the X1s, making Constructs to just go over the top. It really wasn't close. Basically the same story with our round 2 mono white aggro, a deck that we haven't seen a lot lately, but it is maybe a little bit tougher of a matchup because they do have locks on Hierarchs, which can get their creatures out of range of Clarion, but once again, we were able to control their creatures quite effectively, and it was very easy. Our last match, on the other hand, was a gasser. If you didn't get to see that one, go check it out. It was against Blue-Green Elemental Nexus, Quasi-Duplicate and Combo. I don't know, there's gotta be a shorter name. But it was against this sweet new deck that I've been seeing popping up, and it's very powerful, but it was the same kind of story. Game 1, they got us good because we weren't able to control their board in a meaningful way. And then games 2 and 3, we were able to destroy stuff even on a 1-for-1 basis. And then game 3 was very, very hairy. We had to have a very timely Dovin's Veto to be able to stop a Nexus of Fate that would have ran away with the game. But on to the original card choices here. We got 3 Opts. I thought Opt was kind of a weird thing to have as a 3 of. It's almost always a 4 of, but you know, I mean, we need a lot more stuff. Opting in this fast metagame, sometimes you don't have time, so I respect it. We have 1 Spell Pierce here just as a random kind of get you card. Pretty solid there. And once again, this deck was designed with a fandom tournament in mind where it is open deck list. So maybe the 1 Spell Pierce was a little bit pre-thought out by Brian, thinking that our opponent might play around it. So that could be, you never know. Then we have 4 Shock. Shock is amazing, dealing with these early creatures as well as triggering Saheeli, where you can like shock something, get a token, block. It's excellent. Or even pestering planeswalkers like Narset or Teferi Time Reveler. Or ramp creatures, Llanowar Elves, Paradise Druid if it's tapped, stuff like that is very important. 2 Baffling Ends, I'm kind of surprised there isn't more. Adonto Vanguard is a very big problem, as well as it still kills all these mana creatures, which is really important. And then we go to the fun stuff. Narset, Teferi Time Reveler, and Saheeli as our 3-drop planeswalkers. All of them are insane in their own regards. I think Narset in this deck is by far the best because all of our creatures, which there's not a creature in this deck, not a single one, but we have a lot of planeswalkers that produce creatures. So Narset gets to choose between choosing removal or creatures that act as planeswalkers. So Narset really is just insane in this deck. Teferi Time Reveler is just so hard to ever be not insane as well. Being able to... this happened plenty of times where we're on the play and they go turn 2 creature when they don't have another creature. You go Teferi Time Reveler, bounce. You're just so ahead on tempo that the amount of times I lose those games is like less than like 25%. And then Saheeli's okay. Saheeli needs other help from other things. And if you just play it as your turn 3 planeswalker, it usually just gets attacked and killed because right when it comes into play, it does nothing. So it's just okay. It can be insane. Like we did some busted things with it in round 3. Copying dragons from Sarkhan, copying constructs to be able to block. Like it did some cool things, but Deafening Clarion is at a great spot in the metagame dealing with vampires. And just any other early ramp creatures as well as killing zombies. It's a great card right now. Kind of surprised there isn't a 4th. Karn, Scion of Urza is a card that is kind of like Saheeli for me. It's just okay. But with Saheeli, Karn and Saheeli are best friends. If you're getting a bunch of servos and then your constructs are all of a sudden 6/6s you're negativing for, that's big game. And then Saheeli copying the artifacts to copy a construct is insane as well. So Then we go to kind of the heart and soul of the deck, I would say, and that is Sarkhan the Masterless. Being able to tick up an attack for like 12 or 16 sometimes, depending on how many Planeswalkers you have, is really strong. As well as Cleansing Nova here to just be a 4th and 5th Clarion for decks that maybe go bigger. Also, like against Mono White, when I was telling you that their creatures can just get out of Clarion range, you're not getting out of Cleansing Nova range, so. 1 Teferi, I don't really understand it, but it's hard for Teferi to be bad, so I went with it. And then we have the 2 Chandra Awakened Infernos, an all-star against a lot of decks. Basically all the tier 1 decks. Great against Esper Hero. They just can't beat the emblem. And then really good against Scapeshift and zombies, and vampires, because the -3 is just backbreaking. You know, we saw in our last match against Elementals that it's bad because of the words Elemental on the deck. Chandra just doesn't kill everything, which when it doesn't do that, you just take it out. As far as the mana base, nothing too much to talk about here. 4 of all the lands, your classic Jeskai mana base, and then we have one of the best lands in the deck, if not the best land, Interplanar Beacon. It allows you to gain life and just taps for any amount of mana for your Planeswalkers. It is a 3-color deck, so sometimes you have trouble going from Narset to Sarkhan, you know, in back-to-back turns, but Interstellar Beacon really helps bridge that gap. All right, we'll move on to the sideboard. Alpine Moon, definitely just a card for Scapeshift, shut down Field of the Dead. Also can be brought in against Search for Azcanta if you play against Esper Control, pretty reasonable. Baffling End, kills a Danto Vanguard. If you're on the draw and they have creatures that say converted mana cost of 1 through 3, bring it in. On the play, depends on the deck. If it's a ramp deck, you probably don't want them. If it's vampires, get them in there. 2 Fry. Fry's really good against, like we brought it in against Mono White. Esper Control, it's very good against. You can just kill Teferis. You can kill Hero of Precinct 1, as well as, I don't know, Mono Blue. It still is a very good card as well. Dovin's Veto, any deck that's trying to play fair with you, trying to play slow, maybe trying to cast the Elder Spell. The Elder Spell is really bad for us. So if you can Dovin's Veto an Elder Spell, please do. Blood Sun, same thing, Scapeshift matchup. You want to shut down that Field of the Dead so they can't gain incremental damage for you. Ixalan's Binding, a great card against, like, Is It Phoenix? We don't see that a lot, but other than that, I don't see a ton of use for Ixalan's Binding. I think it's a little slow for vampires, and I don't think it's very good against Scapeshift, and it's very bad against Esper Hero. So it's definitely for those more corner case matchups, those niche matchups, like Jund Dinos, maybe Is It Phoenix, Simic Nexus, it's okay. Not my favorite card right now, but definitely has its relevance. Settle the Wreckage here for any aggressive deck, vampires, mono red, anything that's just attacking you at a lot. Pretty straightforward. And then Fall of the Throne, Armageddon. Destroy all those Scapeshift lands and then win with your Planeswalkers. All right, everybody, that is it for me for this week's Droppin Bombs. Next week, we'll be back to get you prepared for GP Vegas with some spicy Modern action just in time for our Modern GP, where it could be the last Modern GP with Hogak. Could be banned after that. Who knows? I don't know. We're going to find out. See y'all next week.